Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of numismatics, uncovering the stories behind the coins that make collectors' hearts race. And today we're talking about a true legend in the coin collecting community, the 1953 D-Wheat penny, a coin so rare and riddled with errors that it's rumored to be worth a staggering $65 million. So buckle up as we explore the history, the mistakes, the errors, and the incredible possibilities that make this penny one of the most valuable coins in existence. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the world of rare coins. The 1953 D-Wheat penny, minted at the Denver Mint, is part of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, featuring his portrait on the obverse and two stylized wheat stalks on the reverse, a design that's iconic for its simplicity and historical significance. But what makes the 1953 D so extraordinary isn't just its place in this beloved series, it's the rare and unique errors that occurred during its production, errors that transformed an ordinary 1-cent coin into a numismatic treasure that could fetch millions at auction. In 1953, the Denver Mint struck over 700 million wheat pennies, making it one of the highest mintages in the series, which might make you wonder how a coin produced in such vast numbers could be worth $65 million, but the answer lies in the minting process, which, in the post-World War II era, was a high-speed operation prone to occasional mistakes, and when those mistakes resulted in rare errors, they created coins that collectors dream of finding, coins that stand out for their uniqueness and rarity. Let's start with one of the most famous errors associated with the 1953 D-Wheat penny, the doubled die obverse, or DDO, a dramatic error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the hubbing process, causing elements of the design, like the date, the word liberty, or the phrase "In God We Trust," to appear doubled, creating a striking visual effect that's instantly recognizable to collectors. And while the 1955 doubled die obverse is more famous, the 1953 DDO is exceptionally rare, with only a handful of examples known to exist, making it a holy grail for penny collectors. The doubling on a 1953 DDO is crisp and pronounced, especially on the date and lettering, and when combined with the coin's condition, particularly if it retains its original red luster, it can command astronomical prices, with some estimates suggesting a top-grade example could reach into the millions, though no single sale has yet hit the $65 million mark. That figure likely reflects the hype and potential of a perfect specimen in a hot auction market. Another error that adds to the 1953 DS allure is the repunched mint mark, or RPM, where the D mint mark, indicating the coin was struck in Denver, was punched into the die multiple times, slightly misaligned, creating a subtle but distinct overlap of the mint mark. And for the 1953 D, an RPM error in high-grade condition, such as MS67 red, can significantly boost the coin's value, with some examples fetching thousands of dollars, and in the case of a pristine coin with a clear RPM, it could contribute to the massive valuation we're talking about. Then there's the possibility of an off-center strike, where the coin blank, or planchet, wasn't properly aligned in the press, resulting in a design that shifted off the center of the coin, sometimes dramatically, with part of the design missing and a blank crescent of metal on one side. And while minor off-center strikes, say 5 to 10% off, might only add $10 to $30 to the coin's value, a severe off-center strike, 50% or more, with the date still visible, could push the value into the hundreds or even thousands, depending on the coin's condition and the clarity of the error. Another fascinating error is the clipped planchet, where the coin blank was improperly cut, leaving a crescent-shaped chunk missing from the edge, creating a distinctive look that collectors love. And for a 1953 D-Wheat penny, a clipped planchet in good condition might be worth $10 to $50, but a dramatic clip in a high-grade coin could fetch much more, especially if paired with other errors. Then there's the die crack or cut error, where a crack in the die used to strike the coin leaves a raised line or blob of metal on the coin's surface, and in some cases, a piece of the die breaks off entirely, creating a cud, a raised, blank area on the coin. And while these errors are generally minor, a prominent cut on a 1953 D penny could add $5 to $25 to its value, or more if it's particularly striking or combined with other errors. Perhaps the most intriguing possibility, though, is the wrong planchet error, where a 1953 D wheat penny was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, like a silver dime, an error that's incredibly rare and valuable, as seen in one documented case where a 1953 D penny struck on a dime planchet sold for over $1,000 in circulated condition, and in uncirculated condition, such an error could easily climb into the tens or hundreds of thousands, contributing significantly to the $65 million valuation if a pristine example were discovered. The value of these errors is heavily influenced by the coin's condition, graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, where uncirculated coins, graded MS60 and above, are the most valuable, especially if they retain their original red color, as opposed to red-brown or brown, which develop as the copper oxidizes over time, and a 1953 D penny in MS67 red, with full luster and no wear, is already rare, with only a few examples known, and when you add a major error like a DDO or wrong planchet, the value skyrockets. The historical context of 1953 also adds to the coin's allure, as it was a time of economic growth and post-war optimism in the United States, with the Denver Mint churning out coins to meet the demands of a booming economy, yet the sheer volume of production meant that quality control wasn't always perfect, leading to these rare errors that collectors now cherish. The rarity of high-grade 1953 D pennies, combined with these errors, makes them stand out in the Wheat Penny series, which ran from 1934 to 1958, and while the series is generally affordable for collectors, the 1953 D is one of the tougher dates to find in top condition, especially with errors. Let's not forget the market dynamics that drive these valuations, as coin collecting is as much about passion as it is about investment, and when a rare 1953 D error coin hits the auction block, it can spark fierce bidding wars among collectors and investors, pushing prices far beyond what you'd expect for a humble penny. For example, a 1953 D penny in MS67 plus red, without any errors, sold for $4,560 at a heritage auction in 2023, and when you factor in a major error like a DDO or wrong planchet, the value could climb exponentially, especially if the coin is certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, which provide authenticity and condition verification that collectors trust. The $65 million figure, while speculative, likely stems from the potential of a unique combination of errors, such as a DDO struck on a wrong planchet in pristine MS68 red condition, a coin that would be one of a kind and generate unprecedented demand. The allure of the 1953 D wheat penny also lies in its story, a coin that was just another penny in 1953, used for everyday transactions, now transformed into a numismatic legend because of mistakes made at the mint, mistakes that slipped through quality control and ended up in circulation, waiting to be discovered by sharp-eyed collectors. The possibility of finding such a coin in pocket change, though slim, is part of what fuels the excitement of coin collecting, and stories of rare finds, like the 1943 bronze penny that sold for $1.7 million, keep collectors searching for that next big discovery. For the 1953 D, the combination of errors like DDO, RPM, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and wrong planchet errors, especially in high grades, creates a perfect storm of rarity and desirability, and while no single 1953 D penny has sold for $65 million, the potential is there if the right coin, with the right combination of errors and condition, surfaces at the right time. The coin's composition, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, also adds to its appeal, as the copper gives it that vibrant red hue when uncirculated, and collectors prize coins that retain this original luster, as it's a sign of careful preservation over decades. The 1953 D's place in the Wheat Penny series, near the end of its run, also makes it significant, as the mint was already planning to replace the wheat design with the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, adding a layer of historical context that collectors love. The errors we've discussed aren't just random mistakes, they're the result of a complex minting process where dies, planchets, and presses had to work in perfect harmony, and any deviation could create a coin that's one of a kind, like a 1953 penny with a double mint mark or a dramatic off-center strike that still shows the date and key design elements. The numismatic community thrives on these details, and the 1953 DS errors are cataloged and studied by collectors who know that even a small imperfection can mean the difference between a penny worth a few cents and one worth millions. The market for error coins is also influenced by the broader economy, as during times of economic uncertainty, tangible assets like rare coins often see increased demand, and the 1953D, with its potential for high-value errors, is a prime candidate for investment. Next, let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1951 wheat penny, a coin that sparked a frenzy among collectors due to its rare errors and mistakes, some of which have driven its value to an astonishing $68 million in certain speculative circles, though such a figure often stems from exaggerated claims or unique, high-profile auction scenarios involving pristine examples with extraordinary errors. So let's unpack the history, design, and specific minting flaws that make this penny a numismatic treasure worth big money, while critically examining why it's so coveted and the possibilities that elevate its value to such dizzying heights. The 1951 wheat penny, part of the Lincoln Cents series minted from 1909 to 1958, was designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, featuring his profile facing right on the obverse, with "In God We Trust" arched above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1951 to the right, while the reverse showcases two stylized ears of Durham wheat curving along the edges, framing 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. A design that's iconic for its simplicity yet rich in historical significance as the first U.S. coin to depict a real person rather than a symbolic figure. In 1951, the U.S. Mint struck these pennies at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, producing 284,576,000 coins with no mint mark; Denver, minting 625,355,000 with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, creating 136,010,000 with an S mint mark, making the San Francisco variety the least common, though still abundant compared to other rare dates in the series. And it's this relative commonality in circulated grades that makes the exceptional errors stand out as the key to their jaw-dropping value. The most valuable 1951 wheat pennies are those with minting errors, which are rare anomalies that occur during the coin production process, and among the most prized is the double die obverse error, where the coin's die is struck twice at slightly different angles, causing a noticeable doubling of design elements like the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, particularly evident on some Denver minted coins, where a red MS-65 example can fetch $200 or more, though top-tier specimens with vivid doubling and pristine surfaces have been known to command thousands at auction due to their rarity and visual appeal. Another significant error is the repunched mint mark, or RPM, seen on 1951D and 1951S pennies, where the mint mark was punched into the die more than once, resulting in an overlapping or slightly offset D or S, with values ranging from $10 to $50 for circulated examples, but climbing to $300 or more for high-grade pieces like an MS-66 1951S RPM sold in 2018, as the distinct overlap captivates collectors who chase these subtle yet striking mistakes. Off-center strikes also add to the 1951 penny's allure, occurring when the coin blank is misaligned in the press, leaving part of the design missing or shifted, with values ranging from $10 for minor misalignments to over $100 for dramatic 50% off-center errors, especially if the date and mint mark remain visible, as these visually striking coins are highly sought after for their uniqueness. Die cracks, where fissures in the die create raised lines on the coin, are another error type, with notable examples like the BIE error, where a die crack between the B and E in Liberty forms what looks like an I, typically valued at $30 or less but prized for its quirky charm, especially in higher grades. Less common but incredibly valuable are wrong planchet errors, where a 1951 penny might be struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a dime, resulting in a coin with the wrong metal composition or size, and while no widely documented 1951 examples exist, similar errors from nearby years, like the 1943 copper penny, have sold for over $1 million, suggesting a hypothetical 1951 penny on a silver dime planchet could theoretically push values into the millions if discovered and authenticated. The $68 million figure, while sensational, likely stems from speculative hype or conflation with other ultra-rare pennies, such as the 1943 bronze cent, but for a 1951 penny to approach such a value, it would need to combine multiple errors like a double die obverse, off-center strike, and wrong planchet in a pristine, uncirculated condition, graded MS67 or higher with a full red color, as the coin's hue plays a critical role in its value, with red pennies commanding premiums over brown or brown-red ones due to their fresh, original luster. The condition of a 1951 wheat penny is paramount, as circulated coins, even with errors, are often worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars, while uncirculated examples, particularly those graded MS60 or above by services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch $3 to $10 for common varieties, but errors in these grades skyrocket in value, with a 1951 proof penny with a double die obverse valued at $450 at PR67, and cameo or deep cameo proofs, which show stark contrast between frosted and mirrored surfaces, jumping to $14,250 for PR67 plus examples, as their rarity and aesthetic appeal drive collector demand. The San Francisco minted 1951 S pennies, with their lower mintage, often carry a slight premium, especially in high grades, with MS67 red examples valued at $325, but error coins from this mint, like RPMs or double dies, are particularly coveted due to their scarcity. The historical context of 1951 also adds intrigue, as post-World War II production meant high mintages to meet economic demand, yet the mint's quality control wasn't infallible, allowing these errors to slip into circulation, where they were later discovered by eagle-eyed collectors, fueling the hunt for these hidden treasures in pocket change or old coin rolls. Cherry-picking, carefully inspecting coins for errors is a strategy collectors use, as many 1951 pennies in circulation could harbor subtle errors like RPMs or minor die cracks that significantly boost value, and with over 1 billion pennies minted that year, the odds of finding an error coin are slim but not impossible, making every 1951 penny a potential jackpot. The allure of these errors lies in their rarity and the stories they tell about the mint's imperfections, like how a double die occurs when a die shifts between hub strikes, or how a repunched mint mark reflects a worker's attempt to correct a faint initial punch, each mistake a snapshot of human error frozen in metal. Collectors also value the 1951 penny for its place in the Lincoln Cent series, which marked a shift in U.S. coinage by featuring a historical figure, championed by President Theodore Roosevelt, who selected Brenner for his artistic merit after seeing a Lincoln plaque he crafted, adding a layer of historical prestige to the coin's appeal. While most 1951 pennies are common, the errors elevate them to numismatic stardom, with auction records showing that top-grade error coins, like a 1951 penny sold for $10,350 in 2006 for an MS67 red specimen, highlight their potential, though claims of $68 million are likely exaggerated unless a one-of-a-kind error combination surfaces, such as a multi-error coin on a rare planchet, which could theoretically approach such a figure in a heated auction. The possibility of undiscovered errors also fuels excitement, as new varieties are still found, like the 1982 D-copper small-date penny discovered decades later, suggesting that a 1951 penny with a previously unknown error could rewrite value records. To maximize value, collectors should focus on condition, seeking coins with sharp details, no wear, and vibrant red color, as even minor imperfections can drastically reduce worth, and professional grading by reputable services like PCGS or NGC is crucial for authentication, especially for high-value errors, as counterfeit or altered coins are a risk in the market. Storing these pennies in a cool, dry environment in coin holders or albums preserves their condition, protecting against corrosion or damage that could diminish their value, and for those hunting for these coins, checking coin rolls, estate sales, or old collections offers a chance to find a valuable 1951 penny for just a cent. The psychological draw of these coins lies in their scarcity and the thrill of discovery, as each error tells a unique story of minting mishaps, from a misaligned planchet to a cracked die, making them tangible pieces of history that collectors chase with fervor. And while the $68 million figure may be a stretch, the combination of rarity, condition, and error type can indeed make a 1951 wheat penny worth big money, transforming a humble cent into a numismatic legend that continues to captivate collectors worldwide. Next, let's plunge into the captivating tale of the 1946 wheat penny, a seemingly modest cent that's ignited a firestorm of excitement in the numismatic world due to its rare errors and minting mishaps, with some speculating that a pristine example with extraordinary errors could fetch an astonishing $165 million, a figure that, while likely inflated by auction hype or conflation with ultra-rare coins like the 1943 bronze cent, underscores the allure of its imperfections. So let's explore the history, design, errors, and possibilities that could elevate this coin to such a monumental value, unraveling why collectors are willing to pay big money for a penny that's anything but ordinary. The 1946 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln Cents series, minted from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, featuring his right-facing profile on the obverse, with "In God We Trust" arcing above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1946 to the right, while the reverse displays two stylized wheat stalks curving along the edges, framing 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top, a design that's both simple and iconic, marking the first U.S. coin to depict a historical figure rather than a symbolic one, a choice spurred by President Theodore Roosevelt's push for more artistic coinage after Brenner's Lincoln plaque caught his eye. In 1946, the U.S. Mint produced 1,505,445,000 Lincoln wheat pennies across 3 facilities: Philadelphia, striking 991,655,000 coins with no mint mark; Denver, minting 315,690,000 with a D mark; and San Francisco, producing 198,100,000 with an S mark, making the San Francisco variety the least common, though still abundant compared to rarer dates. And this high mintage reflects the post-World War II economic boom, where pennies were churned out to fuel a recovering economy. Yet it's the errors from this massive production that transform these common coins into numismatic treasures. The 1946 wheat penny's composition is notable, as it was struck from a brass alloy of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a shift from the 1943 zinc-plated steel cents used to conserve copper during the war, and this alloy, often called shellcase cents because it included copper from recycled ammunition shells, gives the 1946 penny a slightly darker hue and uncirculated condition compared to pre-war bronze cents, which contained 5% tin and zinc, adding a historical layer that collectors find compelling. The most valuable 1946 pennies are those with minting errors, rare anomalies that slip through the mint's quality control, and one of the most coveted is the double die obverse error, where the die is struck twice at slightly different angles, causing a noticeable doubling of elements like the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, particularly seen in some Denver and San Francisco coins, with a red MS-65 double die fetching $200 to $500, though top-tier examples in MS-67 red condition have sold for $3,000 or more at auction due to their sharp doubling in pristine surfaces. Another prized error is the repunched mint mark, RPM, found on 1946D and 1946S pennies, where the mint mark was punched into the die multiple times, resulting in an overlapping or offset D or S, with values ranging from $5 to $50 for circulated coins to $100 to $400 for uncirculated examples, like an MS-66 1946S RPM that sold for $375 in 2020. As collectors prize the distinct, handcrafted nature of these mistakes. The 1946 SS over D overpunched mint mark is especially notable, where a Denver die was repunched with an S, creating a rare variety that's highly sought after, with uncirculated examples valued at $100 to $1,000, and a choice MS-67 red specimen reportedly fetching $5,000 in a 2019 auction. Its value driven by the clear visibility of both mint marks. Off-center strikes are another dramatic error, occurring when the planchet is misaligned in the press, leaving part of the design missing or shifted, with minor off-center errors, 10 to 20%, valued at $10 to $50, while extreme cases, 50% or more, with visible date and mint mark can command $100 to $500, as their striking visual appeal captivates collectors. Broad strike errors, where the collar die fails to contain the planchet, result in a wider, flatter coin with a plain edge, valued at $20 to $150 depending on the degree of expansion, with a 1946 broad strike in MS-63 selling for $200 in 2021 due to its unusual shape. Die cracks, where fissures in the die create raised lines on the coin, add value, particularly the BIE error, where a crack between the B and E in Liberty resembles an I, typically worth $5 to $30 but reaching $75 in high-grade red condition for its quirky charm. Clipped planchet errors, where the coin blank is improperly cut, resulting in a crescent-shaped missing piece, are valued at $15 to $100, with well-defined clips in uncirculated condition fetching higher prices, like a 1946 declipped planchet sold for $120 in 2022. Perhaps the most intriguing possibility is a wrong planchet error, where a 1946 penny might be struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, such as a dime, creating a coin with incorrect metal composition or size, and while no widely documented 1946 examples exist, similar errors, like the 1943 bronze cent, have sold for over $1 million, suggesting a hypothetical 1946 penny on a silver dime planchet could theoretically approach astronomical values if discovered and authenticated, potentially fueling the $165 million claim. The $165 million figure, while sensational, likely arises from speculative hype, misattribution, or confusion with ultra-rare coins like the 1943 copper cent. But for a 1946 penny to reach such a value, it would require an unprecedented combination of errors, say, a double die obverse, off-center strike, and wrong planchet in pristine MS-68 red condition, with full luster and no wear, as the coin's color is critical, with red pennies commanding significant premiums over red-brown or brown ones, due to their vibrant, original appearance. Condition is a major driver of value, with circulated 1946 pennies typically worth 3 to 10 cents, while uncirculated examples in MS-60 MS-65 range from $2 to $45, but error coins in high grades soar, with an MS-67 red 1946 no mint mark penny selling for $14,950 in 2006, and rare error combinations potentially fetching thousands more. The San Francisco minted 1946 S pennies, with their lower mintage, carry a slight premium, with MS-67 red examples valued at $100 to $200, but errors like RPMs or S/D varieties push values higher, especially in gem condition. The historical context of 1946 adds to the coin's allure, as it was minted just after World War II, when the U.S. was transitioning to peacetime production, and the mint's high output led to occasional lapses in quality control, allowing errors to enter circulation, where they were later discovered by collectors, sparking a treasure hunt that continues today. Cherry-picking, carefully examining coins for subtle errors like RPMs or minor die cracks is a popular strategy, as the sheer volume of 1946 pennies, over 1.5 billion, means rare errors could still lurk in coin rolls, old collections, or pocket change, offering a slim but tantalizing chance of finding a valuable gem for mere cents. The appeal of these errors lies in their scarcity and the stories they tell, from a misaligned planchet to a repunched mint mark reflecting a mint worker's correction, each flaw a unique artifact of the minting process. The Lincoln Cents series itself holds a special place in numismatics, as its introduction in 1909 marked a bold departure from tradition, and the 1946 penny, as one of the last shell case cents, carries the weight of wartime history, made from recycled copper that once served the military, adding a patriotic dimension to its value. Auction records show that high-grade error coins, like a 1946 SS/D and MS-67 Red, can fetch $5,000 to $10,000, but the $165 million figure would require a one-of-a-kind specimen, perhaps a multi-error coin on a rare planchet, authenticated by PCGS or NGC, and sold in a frenzied auction to a collector chasing a singular piece of history. The possibility of undiscovered errors keeps the hunt alive, as new varieties, like the 1982 D small day copper penny found decades later, suggest that a 1946 penny with a previously unknown error could redefine its value. Collectors should prioritize condition, seeking coins with sharp details, no wear, and vibrant red color, as even minor flaws can slash value, and professional grading is essential for high-value errors to ensure authenticity, given the risk of counterfeits or altered coins. Proper storage in coin holders or albums in a cool, dry environment preserves condition, protecting against corrosion or damage, and for those seeking these treasures, checking coin rolls, estate sales, or old collections offers a chance to uncover a 1946 penny worth far more than its face value, turning a humble cent into a numismatic legend that captivates collectors worldwide.